Hi.
Yeah.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so very much for joining us on today's webinar brought to you by Camo. And we are delighted to bring this webinar to you. The topic of today's discussion would be strategizing accreditation compliance in response to UGC's latest mandates. We thought this is a very, very important topic to discuss because recently the UGC has issued the fitness of colleges for receiving grants rules for 2024, basically to motivate the colleges towards self improvement. And I believe, according to the rules, colleges must hold valid accreditation from either a NAC council or NBA for at least 60% of their eligible programs. And we thought it's a pertinent topic to discuss today. And this session is brought to you by Camo. Some of you are customers, and some are getting to know Camo. We are a global edtech company, been in the market for the last 10 years. Today, Camo offers a unified SAS and LMS for higher ed as well as for K to 12. And we have more than 500 plus institutions, close to 2 million users across 11 countries using Camo's product. We are a Singapore headquartered company. We have our support and development center based out of Chennai. And we are happy today to bring this webinar to you. For today's discussion, we are going to have a speaker. I'd like to welcome Dr. Shefali Sharma. Verma, sorry. I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Shefali Verma. You want to say hi, Dr.
Yeah. Hi. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Yeah. Thanks, Caroline.
Yeah, thank you. Just a brief introduction to Dr. Shefali. She's a product manager, senior product manager from Camo. She's a seasoned technology executive with a proven track record in innovation and leadership. And she has closely worked with many industry-leading academicians in her professional career. She has been involved in many number of projects driving digital transformation and shaping the technological future of organization. She has experience in academic administration as the director of e-governance and dean of planning and governance at Chandigarh University, lovely professional university, and City University. And as she has been on the other side as well before moving on to the EdTech company like ours. We thought it will be interesting to hear her views on this particular topic. Over to you, Dr. Shefali Verma.
Yeah. Thanks, Caroline, for a wonderful briefing and introduction. So, welcome everyone and good morning from Camo and the team of Camo. So, I'll just quickly share my screen so that we'll just start the presentation quickly. Yeah. Just a confirmation that my voice is audible properly and my screen is visible to everyone.
Yeah, it is. Dr. Shefali, just want to just briefly explain to everybody, we will keep 10 minutes for question and answer. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A window and we'll take it to Dr. Shefali. She can answer those questions as well. Yeah?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. So the trending topic for everyone and the topic for today's session is we have to discuss about strategizing accreditation compliances in response to UGC latest mandates. So we all know that there have been a trending news on social media platforms, on UGC websites and on NAC websites that there have been a tremendous reforms being introduced by Minister of Education in NAC, NBA, AICTE and NIRF ranking frameworks and accreditation frameworks. So in this session, we will just do a brainstorm that how and why these changes have been brought in and what are the main challenges, what institutes and colleges would have to face while implementing these reforms. And then lastly, of course, we'll brief you about that how Camo would be a torchbearer in, clearing all these challenges in one go. So moving ahead with my slide. So this will be the flow of talk, of course. We will be exploring the accreditations. that what is accreditation, what is ranking. Let's just a brief overview that every one of us would have a brief basic prerequisites about accreditation and rankings. And then we'll discuss about what are the ranking and accreditation frameworks being adopted historically. Historically means before this new invention of adopting one nation, one data platform. And then we'll discuss that what are the new reforms, how institutes and colleges, they would cope up with these new reforms, what are the challenges, what are the limitations, or what are the advantages of bringing in these new reforms. And lastly, we'll discuss that how CAMU can be leveraged to attain the new accreditation standards. So before moving ahead and before doing initiating my session, I'll just have a quick check with the audience with the getting started quiz. So yeah, the poll has been launched. I would request all the audience to please attempt these 3 questions. You would be granted 10 seconds for each question. So first question is, what's the main objective of NAC in India? So you have to just attempt this poll in next 30 seconds for these 3 questions. Second question, Washington Accord, international agreement for engineering accreditation bodies, has Indian representation through. And the third one is QS World University Rankings considers several factors. Which of the following is not one of them? I would expect the 100% participation in this poll just to have a bit insight about the pre-knowledge of the audience, about the current topic, and of course, to have the response also from the audience. So we'll just have more 10 seconds to go with. "51% of participants have attempted this quiz. I would request all the participants to please attend this poll so that it would help me to orient my session in a better way. So let's wait for more 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to end this poll and let me share the results with you. So what's the main objective of NAC in India? So of course, 79% people said it is for accrediting universities. That is the correct answer. For those, of course, evaluating universities, evaluating is the first process. The next process is accreditation. The Washington Accord, an international agreement for engineering accrediting bodies, has Indian representation through. So 63% of people have voted for NBA. That is the correct answer. So NBA, it is the product of Washington Accord. That is the agency who accreditates all the engineering and technology programs in US. QS World University rankings consider several factors. Which of the following is not one of them? Academic reputation, employer reputation, faculty-student ratio, student satisfaction. So student satisfaction is not one of them. That is the correct answer. And all the 3 things, they are the part of them. Employer reputation is one of the most crucial part of QS World ranking parameters. All right. So thanks for your response. So we'll move ahead with the session. So first of all, we have to understand what is accreditation. Everybody is saying that we need to accredit. This institute is A+ accredited. This institute is B+ accredited. So we have to understand what is accreditation and why it is necessary for an organization. And what type of accreditation does exist in India, in our national level institutes. So accreditation, of course, is a process which actually measures quality and standards of the teaching learning process. It is actually a comprehensive review based upon some set data criterion, some parameters, which actually evaluates quality and standards of the teaching learning process in terms of infrastructure, in terms of student satisfaction, in terms of curriculum structure, in terms of student support services, and most importantly, the learning outcomes of the degree. And why accreditation is important? Because it actually enhances the credibility and reputation of HEIs. Credibility means any program, if it is accredited, it means that this program is a niche program. If I have to admit my ward in some organization or in some institute or college, I would see that yes, this institute is NAC accredited. And if it is NAC accredited, which grade has it got? If it is A+ or A++, so higher the grade, more credibility an organization would have in imparting good education to my ward. So this is why accreditation is important. It only enhances the quality standards of the teaching learning process and overall academic learning environment for the students. So we have two accreditation bodies basically, mainly in India. So we have National Assessment and Accreditation Council, which we call it as NAC. So NAC is an autonomous body, but is, of course, it is established by UGC to assess and accredit higher education institutes in India. And NAC accredits the overall institute also and for a program also. Whereas NBA, it is specifically targets only engineering and technology programs. And of course, as I said in my earlier poll, it's a product of Washington Accord. It is a legal agreement signed between Washington Accord and NBA. Then India has become officially a partner of Washington Accord. So Washington Accord is a platform, or we can say it is a body which accreditates and which devises the parameters in having an outcome-based education in engineering field. So NBA, it is an autonomous body established by AICTE when at the time of its establishment. And now NBA, it is an entirely independent autonomy body in terms of administration, also in terms of fundings also. So NBA, it actually focuses on engineering and technology-driven programs, and it actually imparts accreditation for 3 years or 6 years through the engineering and technology programs. So moving to the next, this is all about the accreditation. Let's know about rankings. So what is ranking actually? So we all know that in classroom, if we are teaching to the students, we also rank students. That is first in class, is second in class, on the basis of the overall performance of the students. So this is how ranking works. So rankings, basically, they are the global assessments being done for the universities and academic institutes. And these rankings, they will give you insight about the overall performance in terms of academic, overall perception, overall reputation of an organization. So we have various type of parameters, and majority, the main percentage or weightage of parameters in all the ranking frameworks, they are related to the academic reputation, employer reputation, and faculty and student perceptions. So what is the perception of IIT into your mind? It is always good. What is the perception of a local college in your mind? It is always not that good as IIT has. So IIT has a good perception. Everybody wants that the ward should study in IIT reputed institute. So this is how reputation would like. Perception means how about the other audience, the other your passed out students or the faculty or the members, relatives of the faculty talks about your organization, whether it is good, whether it is a good place to work, where it is best place to study. So this is all about the perception. So currently there are 3 agencies which do rankings for the Indian and global at the global level. At the Indian level, we have NIRF, National Institution Ranking Framework, which always ranks every year annually for all the organizations, Indian government also and state private organizations also. Same way we have QS World University Ranking. So QS, of course, it's a quite famous ranking agency. That is a quarterly. Siemens is a world leading provider of service analytics and insights to the global higher education sector. It not only ranks the Indian institution, it is a global ranking agency. And we have QS World, we have QS Asia version also, we have QS World and Asia by subject rankings also. So it has different cascades of ranking on which they actually rank the institutions. Then we have Times Higher Education, the World University Ranking by institute or by subject wise also. So these are 3 the main rankings agencies which does rank the institutions on the basis of their some parameters which defines the overall quality or overall outcome perception of the organization. Apart from these rankings, we have certain media rankings also, like India Today, Times Now, Career 360. So these are some of the different aspects of ranking as a whole and it is important for the organization. And then entire ranking is totally data driven. So we'll see how in our next slides. So moving next, let's make a comparison between accreditation and ranking in terms of these aspects. So if you see accreditation, it is an evaluation process. It only focuses quality. But ranking, it is a comparative analysis. It works on the data. It works on the quantum of data on various criteria. Accreditation, it only assesses the quality and standards of institution, but ranking, it only provides a snapshot of an overall performance of the institution. Accreditation, of course, it is recognized by UGC. Rankings, it may be media, it may be organization, it may be government. Accreditation focuses on the teaching learning process, curriculum, outcome, infrastructure. Rankings, it only based upon the research outputs. All the data-driven parameters, they are basically the part of ranking frameworks. Accreditation involves self-assessment, peer reviews, on-site visits, but ranking is totally based upon the data collection, analysis, and ranking computations. Accreditation, it validates quality, it aids in funding, and it grants autonomy also. For example, for a NAC A plus or accredited organization or university, they can start their offshore campus, they can start their online degree programs. So this is how these privileges would be granted to the NAC A plus or A plus plus accredited universities. Same way for the ranking, it helps in reputation, it helps in student perception and funding. So accreditation ranking examples we have already seen. So main objective of accreditation is for the internal quality improvement, but the objective of ranking is the external visibility and comparison and perception building. So coming to the next slide, let's see current statistics of the organizations. I'm basically considering upon the NAC criteria itself. So this slide actually will give you an insight about how many organizations in terms of universities and colleges would have participated and would have been granted accreditation in terms of 3 overall broad ranks, A, B, and C. If you see this, this bar graph, the first one, it will give you the red one belongs to the colleges and the blue one is for the universities. So if you see the A grade, the universities who have got A accredited universities from NAC, they're only 239. B 174, C 70. It means if we talk about only universities, including state and private universities, there are only 430 universities who have got accredited by NAC till 19th May 2023. And if we see at colleges, there are 9,257 colleges. And if I see this number in terms of percentage, it drops down to university as 56% who has got A grade, colleges are 21% who has got A grade. Consequently, this is the percentage of universities. So can anyone tell me from the audience in the chat box, how many state and private universities exist in India? Anyone? You can just drop your answer in chat box. Any idea? How many total number of universities, state and private universities exist in India, only in India? And any guess about colleges also, if you would like to have. I'm just looking at the chat box if any one of you has some random answer. 5,000, okay. Anyone else? 5,000 universities, okay. So you can just drop in QA box if you have any chance to guess that how many universities are there in India and how many colleges are there in India. Only one guess, that's it. 2,500 universities, okay. Thanks, Dinesh. More than 2,500 universities, okay. And how about the colleges? If anyone would like to say guess a number about the colleges. 1,000 plus universities, thank you. Yes, Prasad. Ratinder, 12,000 colleges, sorry, okay. So I'll just tell you, not the exact number, but the approximate number. They're very close to the exact number. So total number of universities, including state and private in India, it comes out to be around 1,125. It's becoming 1,200, but around approximately 1,150 around. So 1,150. And colleges, you can't even imagine. The total number of colleges in India, it is actually around 42,000 plus colleges. 42,000 plus colleges. Okay. So now you can see, yeah, Prasad is correct, 45,000 colleges. So now you can see, and you can just correlate the percentage of how many colleges and universities they are fit for imparting education to your children. Okay, so universities, out of not only 50% of universities, they've got accreditation by NAC, and colleges, only 20% of the colleges have been accredited with NAC. All right, so this is the reality which we have to accept with bare hands, and we have to work towards it, that why these universities and colleges are not being accredited with NAC yet, and what are the challenges and limitations and issues which they are facing in realizing that this NAC on accreditation is quite important for them. Right? So this is the reality check that we have done in Indian education system in the current state. And if we talk about, if you remember, many of you, there must been into the education system for long. So we know that NAC has revised their accreditation framework from 2017. So this is RAF's revised accreditation framework grade from 1st July 2017 till 18th April, means today. So this is a dynamic dashboard which is available on NAC. You can, download and you can create it anytime. It is a real-time dashboard which they have provided. So if you see RAF analytics from 2017, since the day the NAC has revised their frameworks previously, we have got this analytics in terms of grade. See, only 248 HEIs, they have got A++, 641 HEIs, they have got A+. All right. And if we see the RAF grade institution from 2017 to 24, there has been increase in the percentage from 2017 onwards. In universities, these are the types of universities and colleges who have been accredited. But still, if I compare with the total count of these entities in India, the percentage is very less. So now moving forward to the cycle of accreditation. So now we have done the basic of accreditation and ranking. We have learned that what is all about ranking, accreditation and its comparison, and what are the basic bodies present in India. And then we did a simple quick analytics and stats to check that what is the current situation of the institution colleges in India. So now we'll see that what has been reformed, what things have been reformed by the Ministry of Education or Higher Education Institute. So there are basically 4 types of agencies which operates in Indian education system. The first is AICTE. AICTE provides approval for the technical courses being run in colleges and affiliated colleges. NBA, National Board of Accreditation, as we said, that NBA accredits the technology and the engineering programs for colleges and university. It would be a 3-year or a 6-cycle program. NAC, of course, it is the main body. It accredits and assesses the entire institute as well as the program also. Then we have NIRF, nationally, we have only one ranking agency, that we have National Institute Ranking Framework. So NIRF does the ranking every year. It's an annual ranking. So this is how, now you see, as a stakeholder, as a university or running an affiliate college also out of university, I have to handle 4 types of data format in order to get the approval from these 4 bodies. I have to keep up for the AICTE formats also. I have to undergo the NBA formats also, NAC also, and NIRF also. So this is how this issue comes into picture when there has been evolved some of the data sets which are common to all these 4 agencies. All right. So this is what we have to discuss in the next slides, that why it is important, why there is a need of this major reform being done by in NAC. Let's have a look at the criterion metric for NAC, NBA, and NIRF. We will basically largely talk about these 3 bodies, the 2 accreditation, 1 ranking bodies. If you can see yourself, you can see the difference, and you can see the coinciding things also, the similar things also. So if we talk about NAC, we have 7 criterions. These are listed here. Everybody knows these are very famous 7 criterions. These are the main criterion, which we call it as data metric, and there are sub key indicators associated with each criterion. There are the sub-criterions, and there are data templates involved, which we call it as qualitative data template and quantitative data templates. So we have curricular aspects, teaching, learning, evaluation, research, infrastructure, student support, governance, and institution values. If we talk about NBA, we have 10 parameters, 10 data metrics. Out of 10, the first 7, they belong to a particular program. For example, if you go for the CSE NBA accreditation, so first 7 points, they will be only applicable to that program for CSE only. And for the last 3, first year academic, student support, governance, these only belong to the institute-wise or organization level parameters. If we talk about NIRF, there are only 5 parameters. These 5 are purely data-driven. Purely data-driven. There is no peer site visits. There is no need of any feedbacks and everything. So these 5 parameters, they are totally data-driven. We have to input the data and we'll get the outcome of the ranking. So these are the 3 criterions, main data metrics involved in all 3 types of accreditation and rankings. So let's see the more deep dive into the distribution of metrics and key indicators. If we can see, and I'm just considering the example of NAC only because NAC is a main big body. So I was just saying that there are 7 criterions. Out of 7 criterions, every criterion is associated with some key indicators. And every key indicator is associated with some qualitative metric and quantitative metric. Now, what do you mean by qualitative and quantitative metric? That I want to understand from you. If any one of you would like to share, maybe in QA, that what is the difference between qualitative and quantitative metric? Any one of you, if you can very quickly in 2 or 3 words can explain in QA box. I just want to have your views on this, that how many you can understand about these two terms, the qualitative and the quantitative one. QN is directly measurable. Yeah. Quantitative, exactly. That's right. Qualitative is descriptive. Yeah. You see, quality is not quantified. Okay. So qualitative means you have to write, you have to describe the things, like describe your IQAC policy, you describe your teaching learning methodology, describe how you are using learning management system into your organization, right? So these are all the qualitative ones. Qualitative is measurable based on formula, and qualitative, yeah, very right. Quality means it verifies a process method, very right. So I'm happy that my audience is well versed with these two terms, right? So qualitative means to check that, yes, this is the policy, this is the criteria, this is how we follow, these are all the descriptive items. Quantitative means that is only dependent upon the data sets. The data you have to input, what's the result, what's the outcome, what's the number. Quantitative, that has to be measured in terms of quantified way, in terms of number, in terms of integer, in terms of percentage. So for that, you need to input various varieties of data that has been asked, right? So I'm thankful to everyone, those who have responded in the QA box. Yeah, it's very right. Quantity means it is number, figure. Now you all should see at this number, what is a glaring number, which I also would, I have encountered this number during preparing my presentation and doing some research on these slides. You see, for the quantitative metrics, out of 7 criteria and 34 indicators, 99 metrics are only quantitative and 38 metrics are only qualitative. And you can see the distribution of these criteria, quantitative and qualitative, in these sub-criteria. For example, in curriculum aspect, 7 are quantitative and 2 are qualitative. Okay, for teaching learning, 18 are quantitative. Now you see teaching learning process where the teacher is gonna teach the students, and student, apart from the result, what else you can quantify? Apart from the result or their feedback, what else we can quantify? But we have to quantify everything what we delivered in the class. Same way, research, innovation, extension, 29 are quantitative. Infrastructure, 11 are quantitative. Student support, governance is of course a vision mission policy. That's why 12 are qualitative. Institution values, best practices. You see, the best practices are also even quantified by NAC. So 12 are qualitative. And 12 are quantitative and 8 are qualitative, right? So I'm just concerning about the university. If you see about the colleges, the number is exactly similar. For affiliate colleges also, the number is exactly similar. So I can imagine now that why only less than 50% of universities they are accredited and less than 20% of the colleges are being accredited. This is only because of lack of the digital infrastructure, maybe, or lack of the knowledge about the resources, or lack of the capability of driving the data or doing the data management in the robust form. Because the entire criteria of our accreditation ranking, it only works on the data, right? So this is the outcome of this discussion, and this is the way forward for this discussion, that how we have to cope up with this data problem, and how UGC has realized that yes, there is a need to there is a need to streamline the entire accreditation and ranking process in under one umbrella. So that we are gonna discuss in the next slides. Before that, we're gonna have one more knowledge check with the audience just to keep you motivated. So we'll have one more quiz for you. This time we have 5 questions. So we'll give you 10 seconds for each question, 50 seconds time. So please attempt this quiz, everyone. Thank you. So what does NBA evaluate? What does NIRF evaluate? Then which of the following? You can just answer any random option. There is not a problem, right? So whatever answer you have got, you want, you can just answer it. What does NIRF evaluate? Which of the following is not a step in the NAAC accreditation process? NAAC accreditation is mandatory for which type of higher education institute? Then we have which of the following is not a QS ranking category? So we have just 10 seconds more to answer this. Almost 55% of participants have answered. I would request all the participants to please answer this quiz. This will actually enhance your own knowledge check also, so that you can just ask any question at the end also. And these are very basic questions, right? What does NB evaluate? What does NIRF evaluate? Which of the following is not a step in an NAAC accreditation process? And NAAC accreditation is mandatory for which type of higher education? Then which one is not a QS ranking category? So we'll just wait for next 10 seconds. All right. So I'm going to end this poll now. Almost 60% of participants have answered this poll. So I'm going to share results with you. So the first question is, what does NBA evaluate? So NBA actually evaluate teaching and learning process. So maximum audience they have marked as correct option. What does NIRF evaluate? NIRF evaluate institutions. That's the correct option. Which one of the following is not a step in NAAC accreditation process? Yes, very right. Granting of the accreditation based on past performance. So this is not a step. Publication is yes. NAAC actually publishes the accreditation results on their website. NAAC accreditation is mandatory for which type of higher education? Both universities and colleges, right? Which of the following is not a QS ranking category? This is a good question. So academic reputation, yes, it's a part. Employer reputation is a part. Subject area ranking is a part. Financial endowment ranking is not a part, right? So this is the mid knowledge check, which with all of you. So now we'll move to the next section of the session. So now we'll discuss more about what has been transformed, what has been new to the UGC reforms in accreditation and rankings framework. So we'll just make a comparison between, because everything comes up with NEP. No, last year, NEP used to be a talk of the town that we have to implement NEP. National education policy has come up. Flexibility we have to give. Choice-based learning system we have to give. Now it comes up that NEP vision, it would take us forward to the one nation, one data platform. So I'll just make a comparison between present accreditation system and NEP vision. So present accreditation system, whatever the accreditation system which we are dealing right now with NAAC, NBA, NIRF, AICTE. So these all are score-based, multiple grade accreditation. Score-based means they would just give you a scores. Like NAAC, you will get 3.5, 3.8 out of 5. Multiple grade, you have a complete grade configurations, A plus B, B plus C, D. There are the 8 levels of the grade. Then NEP vision says that should be a binary accreditation. Binary means either accredited or not accredited, right? Then present accreditation states that it is a portal self-disclosure. So everything is closed in a closure. We have to, input the data. We have to publish the data. Everything have to be very closed in terms of public disclosure policy. NEP says that should be a public self-disclosure. So all the higher education institutes, whatever they have submitted the data into the portal, that should be publicly disclosed, right? Single accreditation institute, an organization can have only single type of accreditation, A plus or B. NEP says that it should be treated as approved accreditation, that yes, accreditation is approved. Present accreditation system takes or considers one size fits all model, means every university is same. irrespective that it is a Punjab University in Chandigarh, or it is SRM University, or it is a like 100-year-old university in Punjab, or it is a first-year fresh university. It's an upcoming university is just being established last year, right? So this present accreditation system fits same model for all, but NEP says that it should be university type based process. For the developing university or for the new age university, it should be different. For the developed university, for the established and heritage universities, it should be different. So present accreditation system states it's a generic policy, benefits as an incentive, but NEP states that it's an empirical policy benefits to motivate accreditation. So they have brought in the mentoring system, which will give benefit to the mentoring institutions, right? So this is the main crux of the comparison between present and NEP vision. Next, we will see that why this reforms idea would appear, So we all know that there is some history behind it, that there is the Professor S. Radhakrishnan was the person who was the chairman of overarching committee being constituted by UGC and MOE, who has worked along with his team on the entire reforms, did many deliberations, did many brainstorming sessions on evolving out the good reform structure in streamlining all the accreditation and ranking process at national level. So what they have presented in the report, these are snapshots of the report. These are not the self-generated data, right? If you can see in the NAC, they have just shown in the data sets that the number of institutes participating in NAC every year, it is going to increase. But currently, the status is not much good. As I've said earlier, in the institutions, in universities, only 36% universities have been accredited. And in colleges, only 21% have been accredited. Not only 50% of the education institutes in India, they are fit to what degree to our children, right? So this is a reality check with NAC. It's a reality check with our education system. Same way for NBA, we have many institutions, but still the number of programs are less as compared to the number of programs being offered by the organizations. NIRF ranking, it's being written that all IITs, of course, the national level of eminence institutes or national level of important institutes, they would participate in NIRF. Now, I just would like to highlight this block in front of you, all of you, just to read these points, what has been mentioned here. So this is a main insight, one of the main insight being drawn out of the brainstorming session of the overarching committee. So it has been mentioned that in total, there are 93 variables. Variables means which we have seen in the last slide, the data metrics, on which each responder HEI is required to provide data at different periodicity, because NBA says after 3 years, NAC says after 1 year, NIRF says after every 1 year, collected by the agencies through 4 separately defined processes. Now, 4 here means NAC, NBA, NIRF, and AICT. So out of these 4 separately defined processes, they have come across 93 data metrics or templates where the data labels are exactly same, but they are being asked in different patterns at different times from the higher education institutes and for the agencies to evaluate. So this is a redundant process that they have discovered in this report. So that is the reason why they have adapted, they have moved to the one nation, one data platform, that we will accumulate data on the single platform. Then all the 4 agencies, they will pick the data as per their customized formats. Okay. So this is the main reason behind one nation, one data platform. So moving to the next slide. So this is the executive summary of the reforms. So we'll quickly see one by one that what all things have been introduced newly in the UGC notification or MOE notification in the accreditation and ranking frameworks in India. First thing is they have done the transition from 8-point grading system. As I said, there are 8 type of grades we defined in NAC to an adapted binary accreditation system. Binary also the 3 types: accredited, awaiting accreditation, and not accredited, right? Second one, they have included this clause, the maturity-based accreditation. This we call it as maturity-based accreditation levels. This one is a binary accreditation. Second is a maturity-based accreditation. Maturity means they have introduced level 1 to level 4 levels, the criteria. So the institutes who will fall under level 1 to 4, they will be the Institute of National Excellence. And then level 5 will be the Institute of Global Excellence. So this is how the institute, they can raise their bar every year. They can, first thing, they can be accredited. If they go beyond accreditation, they can enter into the maturity-based accreditation, where they can gain levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Then they have introduced choice-based ranking system. So depending upon the HEI holder, that if they would like to, gain ranking in student satisfaction, if they would like to gain ranking in funding, if they would like to gain ranking in industry tie-ups, so they can just choose their ranking system. It's not the overall ranking now. They will choose customizedly ranking, so that which ranking they have to choose. Next is the program types accreditation. So accreditation, program type accreditation and institution accreditation, they have to combine now. They can amalgamate now. So considering the interdependency, so that they have some composite assessment system. Then they have introduced the mentoring concept. You see the new age universities who have come up just now and the old heritage universities, they can mentor better the new age universities. So they are bringing the concept of mentoring the institution for those institutions who are far below the standards of accreditation. For example, those organizations who are not accredited yet. So we have more number of universities, we have seen the stats, less than these 36%, these 36% institutions who have been accredited, they can be a mentor to rest of the 60% who have not been accredited, right? So there's a meaning that they have bringing in formally in writing, they have brought in this, that these institutes who are already accredited, they will mentor the non-accredited institutions and suitable credit will be given during their re-accreditation. So simplify the accreditation process that we have already seen, especially for the first cycle, because first cycle organization have to submit 5-year data or 6-year data or 3-year. So we were discussing about the simplifying the accreditation process, especially for the first cycle, because as I just now telling you that for the first cycle, the institutes have to submit the data for 6 years, 3 years, 2 years at a lot, right? So this would create very error-prone activities into their data compilation. So this they have simplified. Then they have made an attempt to include all HEIs in every program in the newly proposed assessment and accreditation system with due regard for their statutory dispensations. Of course, there are certain statutory compliances and or regulatory requirements also for the pharmacy, for architecture, for law. So they have different regulatory and accredited bodies. So apart from these, every program and every institution should be the part of this assessment and accreditation new system. So coming to the next slide, moving towards the more executive summary of the reforms. So see the orientation and vision. Now they have divided the HEIs into two parts. The first is the orientation of vision criteria and second is the heritage and legacy. That's I have just now speaking that all the old and established universities and new and upcoming, they would be the part of heritage legacy, and all these specific multidisciplinary education, research intensive, teaching intensive, specialized streams, vocational education, community, rural, remote location, they would be handled with the separate level of criterions. So it is not, sorry, one size fits for all HEIs. Next, the most important thing that how they cope up with the data management system here. So they have developed a unified elicitation tool to collect the superset of the data. Superset means those data sets which are common to all 4 types of bodies: NAC, NBA, NIRF, and AICTE, right? So they have to build in design and to cross-check all the data sets and interrelation with that, and they will introduce a superset of the data. So now comes the role of one nation, one data platform. So one nation, one data platform, it actually brings up to ensure the security accesses also for the data, because data is a very confidential thing for many organizations, right? So this one nation, one data platform, it is a huge and great initiative of MOE and UGC, where they will act as a single point data entry or single point of contact by HEIs with the provision of yearly updates or 5 years update. So this will be the robust data management. And this one nation, one data platform will be compatible to all other third-party platforms where the HEIs, they are supposed to feed the data. For example, Ashes, DigiLocker, Academic Bank of Credits, Samarth, Swayam, Gati Shakti. So these are all some third-party, we can say, portals where every HEI has to register in order to, maintain their identity and to have the DigiLocker and online degrees also. So there are certain things which HES has to cater. So for these things, UGC has bring in the integration of this one nation, one data platform with other bodies. So this is how this One Nation, One Data platform comes into picture. So now we'll see the transition targets as laid down by MOE in order to implement these new reforms. So I think so if you have any questions in these reforms, feel free to drop your questions in QA box. If you have any question out of these executive summary, because this is the crux, these two slides, they are the crux of everything. Whatever the long articles, if you have seen, of the long lectures, if you have heard, the entire crux of the new reform brought in by UGC in all the 4 accreditation ranking frameworks being followed in India. These are all these, it is in these 2 slides, right? So now how this transition would happen, how this transition would take place now in real world, right? These are all the paper things now till date. But now they have fixed the targets also. They have fixed 2 type of targets, short term and medium term. So for short term, what they will do is they will just implement One Nation, One Data platform immediately. The deadline was December 2023, but now we have not got any information from UGC till date. So we are expecting to get the update on One Nation, One Data and updated ranking and accreditation frameworks by this June or July 2024. Let's see what would happen. So they have proposed to implement this on OD, One Nation, One Data platform, and common data used by all the agencies. The agencies also mentioned here. Then all the data templates and metrics and labels have been captured with these on this platform. Then after the launch of this One Nation, One Data platform, they will introduce binary and maturity-based graded accreditations, right? So this is how binary means accreditation or non. They will totally wipe off the grading system, the score-based system. So they will totally switch to the binary and maturity-based grade accreditation level 1 to 5. This we have already learned. Binary means accredited or non-accredited or awaiting accreditation. Maturity based, those who are accredited, they can go level up, level 1 to 4, and then level 5 of the global excellence. Then next stage, the medium level, they will have the extension of one Nation, One Data platform as a superset of all the data to be managed by the agencies. So this is how the 2-term goal setting is being done. The roadmap for MOE and UGC is being done to implement this One Nation, One Data and to bring the reforms of binary and maturity-based accreditation levels. So now come to our part. How CAMU will help you out? How CAMU will help higher education institutes to be ready with this, to be acquainted with this One Nation, One Data platform? You see, CAMU is already a future-ready software. I feel proud to say this because CAMU is already working on the same steps as being launched by UGC right now. CAMU has already built in SIS and LMS as a unified structure, right? All the data management system is in only at one place. You need not to go here and there. You need not to switch on to LMS and switch to the various screens. So it has robust data management. It has comprehensive data analytics and reporting. And most importantly, it is IQAC framework compliant. So whatever the IQAC policies and guidelines and frameworks being launched by UGC from time to time, because IQAC is a body being running in HEIs who takes care of these accreditation and rankings, right? So with CAMU, you can be audit ready at any time. So we need to just fetch the reports and upload into One Nation, One Data platform of the NAC, whatever the platform they are going to launch with in due next months of time, right? So with CAMU, I'll just show you brief features of the advantages of accreditation management software. So whatever be the additions have been made or changes have been made by the MOE or UGC in the data platforms, CAMU is all ready to adapt to that. They have nothing to do anymore, or they have nothing to do any development with that. So we have a comprehensive and full end-to-end support outcome-based education software ready with us, and it is being used by more than 400 institutions. So outcome-based education, it is the crux of NBA accreditation. So NBA, it only works on outcome-based education. So these are some of the high key points I just would like to state here. Academic details of the education, documents, analysis, governance, infrastructure, cloud adaptability. You can access your data software anywhere, anytime. Feedback system, alumni, financial aspects, financial management, data privacy. So these all things, through these features, you can have our own CAMU software system to be future ready to handle all type of accreditation and ranking frameworks. You only have to download the data directly with one click from CAMU and upload it to the whatever the portal which HEI will launch. So this is the only step you have to do. You nothing to have to do all the data implications, all the data filtering, and all the data preparations in Excel files. So this is the beauty and the easiness of CAMU for you. So that you can just deploy CAMU in your higher education institute in order to have this all accreditation and ranking system management software ready. So with this, I just would like to thank you all for your patience, patient learning, patient listening to me. And I'm hopeful that this session would be insightful for you. And not nonetheless, I would like to make these references, of course, because these are the things through which I have done the research and make my presentation. And over to you, Caroline. Thank you. We can have the QA session now.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Shefali. I guess a lot of us have learned about the NAC and NBA and NIRF ranking vis-a-vis the accreditation, the differences, and it was very surprising to note only 20% of the colleges have been, accredited, and I think a lot more needs to be done. I guess I'm going to keep the session open to the audience. If you want to raise your hand, I will unmute you. Also, we have a feedback poll. I would like you to just answer these questions as well, and then we will take your. If there are any questions, we will try and take that as well. We would greatly appreciate if you could share your feedback on the webinar. It will help us improve or bring in more content to you all in future webinars. Also, if you have any, I think there is a question in the Q&A window. Let me. Would you like to take the question, Dr. Shefali, in the Q&A window?
Yeah. In case the formats of accreditation changes change, how CAMU can play a role in the change formats? You see, this is of course, this we have to take care. We all know that the formats they're gonna change, and how much change we won't know, that how much percentage would get changed. CAMU has a very user-friendly report builder software through which you can build your reports as per the formats which accreditation agencies would like to have. Okay, so CAMU is already all set for the change formats also. You see, we have, for example, in a data template, I just tell you in a simple way. For example, in the data template, you want some student strength, you want the program name, you want student academic result, you want some CGPA, GPA. In the change format, for example, this GPA, CGPA would be some other in other templates. Student strength, in terms of student strength, you will get student phone number. So these all labels are already the part of CAMU software. You just have to minor tweak in the report builder. In report builder, you have to set that, yes, these labels I want to have. So you have to select these labels and you have to generate the report. This is how CAMU works. So CAMU is totally flexible software. It's a complete end-to-end user-friendly software. The reports which you wish to have, you wish to download from your system, you can make it anytime, the customized reports through report builder option. So this is how we are adaptable to any change in the change formats. We are ready for that. Thanks.
I hope that answers your question. Are there any more questions? Would you like to ask? Yeah, there are some more.
Yeah. How can we have a demo of CAMU?
We will organize this, Mr. Preetam. Our team will connect with you and we will schedule it based on your convenient time. And one more question from Dinesh Kumar. Can all report be designed at our end in CAMU?
Yeah, see, it depends upon the report labels, what all the options they would like to have, right? I think so. 99% of the reports, they are buildable in CAMU. It can be designed in CAMU. It's not a big deal because CAMU is a comprehensive report builder software, right? So you can do it. You need not to worry about that because NAC formats, they are most generic formats. We all know that, yes, these things we have to capture. And CAMU is all ready, and they are already doing that also. If you can see for OBE, the NB accreditation results, you can directly download from CAMU at any time. Yeah, thanks, Preetham. So,
are there any more questions? We have another 2 minutes. We'll be happy to take if there are any questions from your end. Okay. Yes, there are no more questions. I guess we can close the session. Thank you all once again for giving us this platform and opportunity to share the insights. And thank you, Dr. Shefali, for an insightful session. I'm sure it gave you a perspective of how CAMO is compliant to the request from the UGC. We look forward to meeting you all once again in another session. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Dr. Shefali.
thank you, and bye all. Thanks.
Bye. Bye. Take care.